The African leadership is lazy and not work-oriented. Let me explain, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want to work. They want to supervise only. And even with that, they want to do it from the comfort of their air-conditioned offices. They want to sit back and wait for private companies and people to go to work and take taxes. They themselves are not working on any projects that requires their direct participation, ladies and gentlemen. So when the people aren't working and local businesses are not doing well and these multinational companies aren't producing, they have nothing to depend on their own, ladies and gentlemen. This is the totality of Africa's failure. African governments don't own farms. That is the truth. No farms, no mines. They don't own any production lines nor retail outlets. They are just running around with sirens and motorcades as though they are busy going to do something important. But in actual sense, it could be just going in for lunch, ladies and gentlemen. From Monday to Sunday, their motorcades are always busy running up and down. But there is nothing productive coming out of all that business. So what were they busy for, ladies and gentlemen? It had to take people like Traoré in a space of 3 years to expose the non-performance of our leaders. Now, some of them are waking up at this point. We don't need you to talk big at this point. We need you to run industries. We need you to run production lines and ensure that the people can depend on you, ladies and gentlemen. Leave your offices and the conferences. That's not where the jobs are. The real jobs are on the sun and on the field. Get busy with something productive other than meetings and conferences. If you had industries to run, you wouldn't have all that time to spend a whole day in a conference. Wherever and whenever I see them in these conferences in their three-piece suits, I just know nothing is happening. These things don't fool us any longer, ladies and gentlemen. Get to work, for that is what the people voted you in for.